Hello and welcome to episode 3 of How to Music Business in 2025. So, I'm going to show you all about growth today. And essentially, in the last episode, we built your offer and your business foundation. In this one, we talk about growth, how to build demand, create content that connects, and start generating consistent leads without selling your soul. Because if you don't master this, scaling just means burning out faster. This scaling is episode number 4, but you really need to understand growth before, because if you scale too hard too fast, you'll burn yourself out and everything will just fall to pieces, basically. So step 1, define your growth North Star. So to grow with clarity, not pressure or desperation, you want to define your growth goal. By this date, I want to consistently attract this number of ideal clients every week or month or whatever it is. Just have, it's like a smart target. Have a goal with a date that you can actively work towards. Know your purpose. Are you building authority? Are you validating your offer? Are you testing content? Are you warming up leads? You want to know what it actually is that you're doing, basically, because in business there's always a million things to do, so you want to just actually have clarity on what it is that you're doing in that moment, so that you don't end up just spending weeks of doing nothing. And essentially build a rhythm, have like content schedules, weekly themes, weekly timetables that you work to, just a rhythm that you can actually be consistent with, so that you're not just sporadically doing everything here, there and everywhere and it's all over the place. That's kind of the biggest thing. So that could be, weekly themes, timetables, content, schedules, that's the word, content schedules, and focus on conversations, not just likes. ChatGPT can be very useful for this. What types of content would attract someone struggling with this problem that my offer solves? But yeah, just figure out where you want to go and what time frame and how you're going to get there. And again, ChatGPT is amazing for figuring that out. And something that's important to know right now is you're not trying to go viral, you're trying to be unforgettable to the right people. Step number 2 is all about creating content that actually connects with people. So the objective here is to turn your insights and experience into magnetic content. You want to build from 3 content pillars, which could be authority, teach, explain, document, proof. So authority is important because if you're trying to sell someone something, you need to get across that you actually know what you're talking about and that you actually have authority within that specific field that you're actually speaking about. Vulnerability, share about your life, get your personality across, share your journey, your beliefs, your mistakes, and everything else in between. You don't have to be super open about all of the intricate depths of your soul, but just actually get you as a human being across, because people don't want to buy from a robot, they want to buy from humans. And that's the whole point of this whole parasocial online thing, is to be a personality, but you can't do that if you hide your personality behind what you believe to be perfection. And offer value, tips, breakdowns, mindset shifts, what I wish I knew sooner, etc., etc. You want to create with purpose. So it's all about making the first 3 seconds count. Hooks in social media are just important. You need to give people a reason to stop scrolling. And ultimately, you want to show people. Remember, we're very visual creatures, and in the age of short form content, people need something that's going to light up their brain. So you need to capture their attention straight away and show, don't tell. And speak to emotion first and logic second, because again, emotion is going to be more likely to get someone to stop scrolling than the logical half of their brain. And use formats that match your style, whether that's face to cam. I like doing videos where I just chat, but for something that's actually structured and educational, I kind of need to follow a script or a template. Screen recordings, face to cams, performance plus voiceovers, B-roll, all sorts. It's all down to you and what you like, but at the end of the day, you need a video that's somewhat engaging, and you don't need a camera like this to make content, by the way. You can literally film on your iPhone and it can be great. You just need to nail the engagement, but again, that's something that I covered better or in more depth within Hendrick Academy. But for the minute, I think you get the idea. Just kind of look at all of the content that you see online and think how you can recreate that, essentially. Again, ChatGPT is insane for coming up with content ideas. CapCut is really good for editing if you're kind of new to that. It's not very expensive. In fact, I think it's free, and it's really easy to use. And yeah, Metrical, you can schedule and track all of your content. Opus Clip, you can trim long form videos into shorts. There's all sorts of tools out there. So just do some research. And great content doesn't just educate, it resonates, and also it low-key entertains as well. So make your ideal client feel seen, and they'll follow you forever. So step 3 is building attention into action. So here you want to convert followers into conversations and conversations into clients/fans. So in a lot of posts you could say comment X or DM me word for this or link in bio, what do you think? And CTAs are call to actions as mentioned. If you want to comment the certain word, I can't remember the software that you use, but there is 2 seconds. I just had to look it up, but the most common one that people use is called ManyChat, and that only works for Instagram. So yeah, here you're basically calling to action. You're telling people to engage with what it is that you're putting out there, and follow up with curiosity. So maybe message people or reply to their comments. What made this resonate with you? Where are you at in your journey right now? What's been the hardest part? Just message them, talk to them, build some kind of relationship with them. Don't harass them and pressure them into buying your program or buying anything, because it's just annoying and no one wants that. But yeah, just start building connections, and with curiosity, just ask these questions and build a micro funnel. So content is you're raising awareness. The comment/DM call to action, you're creating connection. And then with a lead magnet or some kind of free thing that you're giving people, so this YouTube video, for example, that builds trust. And then if you have your offer already created, you have a calendar system ready to go, send that to them, and then that's your action. It's not easy, but it's simple once you understand the basics. So again, tools that you can use: Instagram, TikTok, Calendly, Google Forms, all of that sort of stuff. And you're not closing, you're opening a door. You're helping them solve a problem. You're not pitching a service. No one likes to be sold to, but they like to be helped. So if you can just prove to someone that you can help them, then they'll really appreciate that. But if you're really trying to cold call them in the DMs, it really doesn't go a long way. Trust me. So step 4, relationship-focused selling. You want to learn to sell naturally through trust and not tactics. Use low-pressure frameworks such as permission-based, collaborative close, or problem possibility plan. This isn't necessarily too essential, but I go into a lot more depth into this sort of stuff in the academy. But when you're in doubt, first, help them, Send them a free resource, offer them free advice, or invite them to something that costs nothing, whether that's a free live webinar that you're hosting, a free live event, or just offer them something for free that they will enjoy. Don't expect to... It's like in real life, you don't give things to people expecting to get something back. You give for the sake of giving. So if you give for the sake of giving here, then people will naturally probably reciprocate and want to work more with you. Obviously, don't completely sell yourself out and give them everything for nothing, but just give them little bits of bite-sized things that they will appreciate, and it will honestly go a long way. So you want to attract warm leads, who are basically people who actually engage with your DMs. They ask you questions, they reply to your stories, all of that sort of stuff. These people are called warm leads. Cold leads are people that are basically strangers on the internet, and it's so much easier working with hot leads than it is cold. So you want to build a light touch follow-up system, whether that's just messaging them here and there, checking in, seeing how they are, what they're up to, what they're struggling with, all of that sort of good stuff. But it's all about building connections and relationships with people. You don't want to be too robotic. You want to still be a human. I think that's the most important thing with all of this. So, in the early stage of growth, it's not about selling more. It's about becoming someone that people want to buy from. Step 5, rhythm, consistency, and momentum. So the objective here is to build trust over time and not overnight. So you want to set a content rhythm. So that could be 3 to 5 short forms per week, one long form piece per week, one call to action event per week. We've already covered that, but it's important nonetheless. And daily replies to DMs. You can kind of do this as they come in or set specific times to do that. It's completely up to you. Perhaps use a content board, so ideas, drafts, scheduled, posted. How I make content is a bit different to this. I basically just kind of brainstorm things in my phone notes and then take that to ChatGPT to sort of build out a structure. And then I don't follow scripts like this usually in my talking videos. I just have a set of bullet points or talking points. Because if I follow something too word for word, then I don't freestyle, and it takes me ages to learn the words and speak it and edit it, and it's just not very natural, and I just really don't like it. So yeah, I kind of write down the ideas, go to ChatGPT to help think of a flow for the video, putting in my own talking points and opinions or whatever, and then coming up with like a structure of the order to say them or whatever. And then track what performs, and whatever does well, just keep doing that. You know, double down on whatever does well, essentially. You can't really go wrong with that. So from there, you want to use feedback to improve. What content got you here, or what would you love to learn next, or what you stuck right now? You really want to get feedback from your audience, because then you know exactly what they like, what they don't like, and then how you can refine that to suit their wants and needs better. Again, tools for analytics and scheduling. Metrical, it's free, I'm pretty sure. Highly recommend this. And then just the typical sort of stuff. In 2025, consistency is credibility. You want to show up with value every week, and the compound effect will blow your mind. So step 6, you want to build your growth ecosystem. Make content the gateway to deeper connection and conversation. Link content to free resources, WhatsApp groups, lead magnets, webinars or masterclasses, discovery calls, music, merch or community, etc., etc., etc. And create content, action, and a result feedback loop. So this essentially is the content that you're putting out attracts people, and the action that you take brings them into your ecosystem. You work with them and get results, and then you use that results or those results in your content to then boost the action and get more clients, and it creates a loop essentially. Repurpose anything, videos that do well, topics that you like talking about. Just don't be afraid to repost things. If they're a few weeks old or whatever and they've done really well, just repost that shit, repurpose it. You can turn a voice note into a post. You could turn a call into a story, turn an insight into a guide. You can trim long form to short form. You could do all sorts of stuff. It's not about having loads and loads and loads of ideas. It's about having a few good ones and figuring out how to push them out to the masses, you know? So Linktree or Framer could be good for having links. And again, Metrical is just elite for all things kind of content, essentially. So what is next? You're visible, you're consistent, and you're helping people, building trust and starting conversations. And this is where scaling comes in. In the next and final video, we'll go into systemization, automation, hiring, financial scaling, and building something that's truly scalable and freeing. If you've got any value from this, please like, comment, subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. It would help me out a lot. And yeah, let me know what you liked about this, what you didn't like about this. If it's shit, just tell me. Or if you need help with anything, just give me a message. All of that good stuff. But yeah, my name has been Gwethan, and I will see you in the next one.